Have you ever found yourself standing at a crossroads in life, burdened by a persistent unhappiness, a shadow that seems to follow your every step, whispering that joy is always just out of reach? Imagine seeking solace and wisdom in a place of profound peace, hoping to unravel the tangled threads of your own sorrow. What if the answers you desperately sought weren't grand revelations from a distant sage, but quiet reflections found within yourself? And could it be that the key to unlocking a life of contentment lies not in changing the world around you, but in understanding the intricate landscape of your own mind, as one man discovered in the serene presence of Gautam Buddha? Once, a man, his heart heavy with an unspoken weariness, came to the tranquil ashram of Gautam Buddha. He sought and was granted shelter, and after spending 2 long days wrapped in solitary contemplation, the weight of his faults pressing upon him, he finally approached the enlightened one. "Oh, revered Buddha," he began, his voice tinged with a quiet desperation, "I have several questions stirring restlessly in my mind. I have journeyed here hoping to find the answers to these perplexing questions from your profound wisdom." Lord Buddha, his presence radiating a calm that seemed to embrace the very air around them, simply said, "Tell me, what questions weigh upon your heart?" The man took a deep breath, the words tumbling out as if a dam had broken. "I am not happy in my life, not at all," he confessed, the pain evident in his voice. "I find myself always, invariably, very sad. It feels as though there is no true happiness to be found in my existence. No lasting joy. I desperately want to know why this happens to me, why this shadow clings so tightly." Gautam Buddha listened with patient compassion, then gently posed a question of his own. "First," he said, his gaze steady and kind, "you must tell me, what do you perceive to be the cause of your sorrow? What are the exact, tangible causes of your grief and persistent anxiety?" The man paused, thinking for a long moment about Buddha's words, a flicker of surprise, perhaps even a touch of frustration, in his eyes. "But what kind of question is this?" he eventually replied, a slight edge to his tone. "I am the one asking you for answers. And without providing any, you are now questioning me again." Buddha offered a gentle, knowing smile. "It is, after all, your sorrow," he explained softly. "Therefore, should you not be the one most intimately acquainted with the roots from which it springs? What, in your own understanding, are the causes of your sorrow?" The man seemed taken aback. "But Buddha," he countered, "you are a prophet, an enlightened being. It is said you know how to read the minds and hearts of men. Surely, you should know everything about my suffering without my needing to explain." Buddha smiled with an even softer understanding. "This, my friend, is where your initial mistake lies," he said, his voice carrying no judgment, only gentle guidance. "You believe that someone else, some external power or wisdom, will magically make you free from your grief. But life, in its profound truth, never truly works that way. It is only you, through your own dedicated effort and insight, who can ultimately solve your own problem, who can untangle the knots within your own heart." He paused, then added, "I am, in essence, Just like you, the only true difference is that I no longer carry any inner confusion. And I assure you, on the very day when your own inner confusion finally clears, you will no longer feel the need to go to any Buddha or any sage to solve your problems. Buddha then shifted his gaze towards the vibrant life of the ashram garden. "Tell me," he asked, his voice taking on a more contemplative tone, "have you ever truly taken the time to carefully observe the flowers?" The man, surprised by this seemingly abrupt change of subject, replied, "Who has the time for such things amidst so much sorrow? Who has truly seen flowers with such a burdened heart?" Buddha continued, his voice like a gentle breeze, "Consider the flower. It unfurls itself as a tender bud in the cool of the morning. It blooms in its full glory throughout the day, and then, as evening descends, its petals close, its life for that day ends. Now, if that flower had known with certainty that its vibrant display would last but a single day, that it would inevitably end in the quiet of the evening, do you think it would have even bothered to blossom at all? Perhaps not. Just like that, my friend, if you allow your mind to always dwell on sorrow, to constantly anticipate its return, you will find it nearly impossible to ever be truly happy." He leaned forward slightly, his eyes conveying a deep sense of hope. "There are still so many things, so many moments, so many simple beauties present in your life right now that possess the power to help you live happily. To experience joy, you can smile again. You can savor and enjoy life to its very fullest. But you will not find lasting happiness in your life unless you consciously choose to follow this path of inner understanding. I can show you the way. I can describe the path with clarity, but it is you who must walk it. Only then, through your own dedicated effort, will you find the happiness that currently eludes you in life." Hearing these profound words, the man became silent for quite a while, his brow furrowed in deep thought. After a period of contemplation, he spoke again, a new question forming. "But Buddha," he said, a note of lingering doubt in his voice, "I do not understand one thing. Is it truly possible to solve all the multifaceted problems in my life?" All at once, Buddha slowly began to speak, his voice painting a vivid picture. "Imagine if someone were to come to you this very moment and declare, with absolute certainty, that you will die in the next 10 minutes. In that instant, with that stark reality confronting you, would you remember any other problem? Would any of your current anxieties still hold their power? I think not, because at that precise moment, your mind would be entirely consumed by the one absolute truth of this earthly life, which is death. You would likely feel a profound sense of futility about your worries, thinking, what is the use of endlessly thinking over these problems? I will be gone from this world after just 10 short minutes. We so often forget, in our daily striving, that this life is incredibly fleeting, as transient as a dewdrop on a lotus leaf. Our desires, our attachments, become so overwhelmingly strong that we unconsciously begin to accept our life as if it were immortal, as if we have endless time. He continued, "The happiness and sorrow we experience in life are not, in themselves, permanent states. They come and go like clouds in the sky. The true cause of this fluctuating happiness and sorrow, if you look deeply enough, can often be traced back to our karma, the consequences of our past actions, and, perhaps even more significantly, to the nature of our present thoughts, our mental habits. The man was listening with rapt attention, his earlier defensiveness melting away in the warmth of Buddha's wisdom. He then asked, "So, if the thought of death can bring such clarity, should I then always think, I am going to die soon? Will that constant reminder solve my problems?" Buddha shook his head gently. "No, my friend, never think so with such morbidity." He cautioned, "That is not the path to joy. Instead, simply cultivate this understanding. My existence in this world is uncertain, its duration unknown, and for as long as I am here, for as long as I will be, I will choose to live happily, to find joy in the present moment. Think very carefully now. You still have many things, many people, many simple blessings in your life right now that can, and do, make you happy and glad. Learn to live fully with them. Fix your mind on these positive anchors, and you will begin to see that there is, in fact, no insurmountable confusion in your mind. All the sorrows and pains of life, if you trace them to their source, are ultimately caused by desire, by craving, by attachment. The key, therefore, is to gain mastery over the mind. If you can gently guide your mind to become as simple, as present, as unburdened as that of a child, you will indeed find an eternal, unshakable happiness. The man, now deeply engaged, asked, "But how, revered Buddha, how can I possibly control this restless, unruly mind?" To control the mind, Buddha explained, we first need to clearly understand the difference between true happiness and fleeting sorrow. You must come to understand, for yourself, what genuinely constitutes happiness to you, and what, in your own experience, constitutes sorrow. The mind has to be patiently trained, gently controlled, in such a way that it should neither become excessively elated even in moments of extreme happiness, nor should it be utterly despondent even in times of extreme sorrow. We must strive to cultivate a steadfastness, an equanimity, a calm presence in the middle position, an unwavering center. If you truly analyze, in your real life, what your sorrows are, or what you perceive to be the causes of those sorrows, in the end, the undeniable conclusion you will reach is this: the ultimate cause of all our sorrows is, in fact, ourselves, our reactions, our interpretations, our attachments, and it is the mind that manages and directs this self. So, it follows logically, if you can learn to gently guide and control the mind, the sorrow will naturally begin to end. Buddha then leaned in slightly, a soft light in his eyes. If you can manage to do another small, yet significant, thing, he said, you will begin to see that the sorrow in your life can indeed fade away. Perhaps even forever. The man, his face now alight with a newfound hope and enthusiasm, urged, "Please, tell me, Buddha, what is it that I should do?" Buddha replied, "For the next 2 days, you will not speak to anyone. You will find a solitary place within the quiet confines of the ashram. There, you will take a piece of paper, and with deep, honest reflection, you will write down all your perceived sorrows and the specific reasons you believe are behind them. Then, on another, separate piece of paper, you will write down all the happiness you can still find in your life, all the blessings you still possess, and the reasons for that happiness. There is no need to rush this process. You will have plenty of time. Go now and think. Think deeply, think clearly, think perfectly. The man, his heart filled with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a long time, bowed deeply to Buddha and then made his way to a secluded corner of the peaceful ashram. 2 days later, he returned to Buddha, his hands holding a considerable number of papers, each filled with his careful script. Buddha, with that same serene smile, looked at the papers and then at the man. First, he said gently, "Let me listen to the table of contents of your sorrow. What have you discovered?" The man took a breath, a mixture of apprehension and readiness in his expression, and began to read from his list. Number 1, all the brothers in my family are prosperous and wealthy, but I find myself poor and often in debt. I believe this is because I am frequently afraid to take decisive action. I tend to raise more concerns and anxieties than I take steps forward. And I am constantly, almost compulsively, comparing myself with others. Number 2, my neighbors have managed to save a significant amount of money, but I have not been able to do so. The reasons for this, I believe, are firstly, I have often made choices that, and as he continued to articulate the landscape of his perceived misfortunes, the first steps on a new path were already being taken, a path that might lead him from the shadows of sorrow into the light of understanding, a journey we shall continue to explore. And so, as we left our seeker at the end of his 2 days of solitary reflection, he stood before Gautam Buddha, papers in hand, ready to unveil the catalogue of his sorrows. Buddha, with that unwavering, serene gaze, had gently prompted, "First, let me listen to the table of contents of your sorrow. What have you discovered?" The man, his voice a mixture of humility and the raw pain of self-discovery, continued to read from his carefully compiled list, picking up from where he had begun to outline his perceived misfortunes. And this fear of taking action, this constant, gnawing habit of comparing myself to my more prosperous brothers, has kept me feeling poor and indebted. My second great sorrow, he went on, the words heavy with past regrets, is that while my neighbors have diligently saved a great deal of money, I find myself with little to show. The reasons, I now see, are painfully clear. I often engaged in work that earned less, yet I squandered what I had in pursuits and in the company of those who did not uplift me. In truth, I never even made a genuine effort to save a single penny. He paused, the next admission visibly more difficult, a shadow crossing his face. My third sorrow, and this weighs heavily upon me, concerns my wife. She has been ill for a very long time, and I now understand that I, through my own negligence, bear a great responsibility for this. I did not take her to any skilled doctor. Instead, I foolishly just left her fate to luck. to chance. He hesitated, then with a pained expression, confessed a darker truth. And, if I am to be entirely honest, there has been a hidden, almost sacrilegious desire deep within my mind. If this wife of mine were to pass away from her illness, I foolishly imagined I would then be free to remarry, perhaps to find a woman I deemed more faithful or suited to my then selfish ideals. His voice grew softer still as he moved to his fourth point. I spend so much of my day imagining illusory happiness, chasing phantoms of joy that are always tied to what I do not possess. And then I worry and grieve intensely when these fantasies are not fulfilled, especially due to my lack of money to escape this constant cycle. I drink alcohol every single day, foolishly believing it can help me forget my sorrow. He looked directly at Buddha, a stark self-awareness in his eyes. And again, I know that I am the only one responsible for this. I am fully aware that I cannot truly afford this indulgence, this escape, yet there's a part of me that still wants to somehow drown out the pain, to pretend I can have all the things I crave even if they are beyond my reach. I constantly make excuses for my drinking, for this deliberate intoxication. He looked down at his papers, then back at Buddha. These, revered sir, are my 4 primary sorrows, and as I have written, I now see with clarity that at the very root of all these sorrows lie my own past actions, my own recurring patterns of thought, and my own misguided desires. This time, a gentle, compassionate smile touched Gautam Buddha's lips. You have done well to look so deeply and honestly within, he said, his voice soft yet affirming. Now, tell me, what of the other list? What of your happiness? At this, a remarkable transformation came over the man. His shoulders seemed to lift. A light sparked in his previously downcast eyes, and his voice, when he spoke, was filled with an almost boyish enthusiasm. "Oh, Buddha," he exclaimed, "I am so happy. I possess so much joy, so much pure delight deep inside me. I have only just truly realized this for the very first time in my entire life. During these past 2 incredible days of reflection, my list of the causes of my happiness, it is so wonderfully, astonishingly big that I believe it would take me a couple of hours, perhaps even longer, to finish reading it all to you." Buddha smiled again, a radiant, encompassing smile. "And this is not a truth reserved only for you, my friend," he said warmly, "but it is the same for all of us. For every human being, the potential for immense happiness, peace, and joy is always present within. It is only that we so often waste the precious, fleeting moments of this life by allowing our minds to dwell endlessly on the perceived causes of our sorrow. In fact, if we but knew it, our life, each life, is a vast, inexhaustible storehouse of happiness, peace, and profound joy. Well then," he continued, "you need not read the entire list to me now. Perhaps just share a few of these newfound wellsprings of happiness." The man, his face now beaming with an almost childlike delight, began to read with great joy. "The very first joy, the most fundamental one, is that I am alive. I am here, now, living in this beautiful, wondrous world. I am healthy, and my body is strong. I have parents who love me, a wife who shares my life, and children who bless our home. I am truly like those fortunate ones I used to envy in the world." He continued, his voice filled with newfound appreciation. "I possess the most spacious and invaluable wealth imaginable, wealth that no money can buy. I have the unwavering affection of my dear parents, the deep and abiding love of my beautiful wife, the innocent tenderness of my precious child, and the profound, indescribable happiness of simply being a father. I can work. My body is fit and healthy, capable of great effort. I realize now that I can always improve my income by diligently applying myself to any honest work. And with that, I can happily, lovingly meet the needs of all my family members." His voice gained even more conviction. "I am happy because I now see that I can build a truly happy family. As much as lies within my power, without that old, corrosive habit of comparing myself with any of my neighbors or my brothers, and with the spark of true humanity that has been kindled within me by your grace. Revered Buddha, I truly know, that I can leave my bad habits behind and choose to live in lasting, eternal peace." He looked up, his eyes shining, and the greatest joy, the most profound good fortune of all, is that I have found a place here, at the blessed feet of Lord Gautam Buddha, by your divine grace. For as long as I am privileged to walk this earth, however temporarily, I will strive to know the deepest truth of life, to truly know myself with a calm and fixed mind, and to keep not only myself, but also others in a state of eternal, unshakable bliss. Buddha listened, his serene presence a comforting balm. Then he spoke, his words like a gentle blessing. "Go back to your family now," he said, "for in this moment, through this profound realization, you are truly reborn today. Go and live a life of eternal peace, guided by a stable, tranquil mind. And if, in the days to come, even a slight confusion or a shadow of old sorrow tries to creep back into your mind about life, simply say to yourself with firm conviction, 'Life is indeed too short, and I am certainly not here to be a slave to sorrow.'" He continued, "Learn to analyze and quickly find out the true cause of any sorrow that arises. And then, without delay, take action to dissolve it, to destroy its root immediately. Only then, through such mindful diligence, will you find that eternal happiness, that everlasting joy, which is your true nature. And so, my friends, the journey of this man, from the depths of his perceived sorrow to the radiant discovery of his inherent joy, offers us a timeless and universal lesson. It reminds us that while life will undoubtedly present its challenges, the wellspring of happiness often lies dormant within us, waiting to be rediscovered through honest self-reflection and a conscious shift in perspective. Like the man in our story, we all possess an inner storehouse of peace and joy, often obscured by the relentless pursuit of external validation or the heavy clouds of comparison and desire. The path to reclaiming this inner joy, as illuminated by the Buddha's wisdom, involves courageously examining the roots of our own unhappiness, taking responsibility for our faults and actions, And then, with equal diligence, turning our attention to the countless blessings that already surround us. It's about choosing to live with a stable mind, to cherish the present moment, and to understand that true contentment is not found in changing our external circumstances, but in transforming our inner landscape. If this story and its profound teachings have resonated with you today, if you feel inspired to embark on or continue your own journey towards inner peace and lasting happiness, we warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel. We are dedicated to sharing more timeless wisdom and practical insights like these to support your path of growth and self-discovery. Please take a moment to click that subscribe button below, and be sure to hit the notification bell as well, so you won't miss any of our future videos designed to uplift, inspire, and empower you. We also love hearing from our community, so please feel free to share your own reflections on happiness, or perhaps a cause of joy in your own life, in the comments section below. And if you found value in this video, we would be so grateful if you would like it and share it with your beloved ones who might also benefit from this message. Thank you for joining us, and may you find eternal happiness and everlasting joy on your path. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.